Good morning, friends. So I thought I'd make a quick one again for those who have now migrated to Canada and you've now completed your landing. What's next? Here are my top four recommendations of what you need to do immediately once you've completed your landing. So the first thing would be for you to look about your social insurance number or your SIN as it's commonly called. This social insurance number, you can get this at any Service Canada location. And usually it's a same day, like you go into the Service Canada, fill out the forms, and you get it basically at the same time. Now, the social insurance number is critical because you'll need this for employment. You'll need this to open like a bank account, right? And it's strongly recommended that this social insurance number, once you receive, you do not share this with anyone other than your bank and your employer. All right. Now, having received your social insurance number, what's next? The next thing I would recommend that you do is to look about a bank account and more importantly, a credit card. Now, as you know, in countries like Canada, credit history is a big thing. And of course, as a newcomer, you may not necessarily have that credit history depending on which country you're coming from. So one way in which it's good to start building your credit would be to have a credit card. Using that card and of course paying off the balance in full and in a timely manner monthly, right? Now, credit history is important because like for any major purchases, a car, a house, for renting, this will be required by the other party for you to prove that you're able to pay your bills in time and in full, basically, right? Okay. Now, there are several banking institutions that have like first comer or newcomer packages. I know CIBC is one such bank. I believe RBC as well. TD also have a newcomers program, which basically you get a credit card and you have like a credit limit of like about 500 or $1,000, somewhere around that region. It may be more, but I think generally you start out with like a $500 or $1,000 credit limit, and based on how you handle that credit limit with time, you get a notification that your credit limit can be increased. So that's a good way to start building your credit until it's time for you to start paying bills, and of course, by paying your bills in full and on time, you also build your credit faster. The third thing that I would recommend that you do is to look about your health card, your government health card, that is. Now, the SIN card and your bank account, those can basically be received in the same day. They have a same day turnaround. But for the health card, I believe it's a 2 month turnaround. So what you basically would do is go to any Service Ontario location, you fill out the forms, and of course, once it's accepted, then you have like a 2 months turnaround time in which they will mail that health card to you at the address that you listed that you'll be residing. This health card, of course, is self-explanatory. It helps with the cost whenever you go to doctor, the pharmacy, hospital, dentist, etc. Once you show the health card, there's a significant reduction in the cost um, of whatever service or goods that was procured. The final thing that I would recommend is for you to start the process in getting a driver's license. Now, even if you don't plan to drive or to own a vehicle, I think this is a good thing to have because two things. One, the driver's license can be used as a form of identification, which, of course, as you know, um, it's good to have ID on you wherever you go, right? So that's the first reason. A driver's license can be used as a form of identification. And whatever transactions you're doing, you know, banks or whatever it is, they will always request an ID, and you don't have to be walking with your passport, etc. The second reason is that even if you're not gonna be owning the vehicle, as I said, if you plan to, or in the future that you decide to own or to drive, then you would have accumulated some years on your driver's license, with significantly help with insurance, right? Insurance in Canada is no joke. I'm not sure about in the States, but like areas in the GTA, Brampton especially, insurance rates are very high. And for a newcomer, you may be looking to start off with rates from like $300 upwards per month. So if you have some years on your driver's license, that definitely helps to reduce that rate a bit. Not by much, I must add, but it does help, right? And of course, if you have a G license as opposed to a G2, then of course there's also greater reduction in your rates. So that would bring me to another point that, like, before coming to Canada, I'd recommend like you get a driving abstract from your country. In Jamaica, that governing body would be the Island Traffic Authority. I believe it's located in Halfway Tree, almost in front of the Halfway Tree police station. And what you do, you go there and you request a driving abstract, and you take that with you to Canada. Now, what this driving abstract does, it shows your driving record, your driving history, and it tells the amount of experience that you have. Now, this is useful whenever you're looking about your driver's license, because what it allows you to do is to bypass the G2 licensing license. Now, how the licensing is structured here in Canada, you get a G1 first, which is basically what we would call like your learner's license, your provisional license. And with a G1, you basically have to have someone with a G license driving with you at all times. It's basically a learner's, right? So you can't drive this by yourself. Now, once you have your G1 license, the next step under a usual process is for you to get your G2. Now, with a G2 license, you're able to do most things that a full G license can do, but I believe like the alcohol tolerance level that you can have in your system while driving is significantly less than if you have a full G. And there are some other limitations of the G2 when compared to the G. But for the purposes of insurance, a G2 license would attract a higher monthly rate. So you definitely want to get a G license. But if you're gonna follow that process, I believe you have to have the G2 license for a period of at least 1 year before you can progress to a full G license, right? Now, if you have that driving abstract, based on the record that you have from your foreign country, this can allow you to bypass that G2 and go directly from a G1 to a G. Now, the caveat is that you only have one chance to get this G. And if you fail that exam, then you have to go back to the G2 and then do the whole that straight line progression from G1, G2 to full G. So there are no do-overs once you go this route. Once you fail the G once, you have to go back to the G2, right? And as I said, once you have the full G, then the insurance rates would be the lowest compared to the G2. Still high, but much lower than if you had a G2. So there you have it. My four recommendations. Just to summarize, one, ensure that you look about your social insurance number. Two, get a bank account and a credit card. Three, look about your health card. And four, look about your driver's license. So that's it for now in this one. We'll talk again soon. Take care. Bye.